Welcome to Kaywon Action Star. I'm glad to have you back here. Thank you for supporting me by watching, commenting and liking my videos, it means a lot to me. So let's get into today's recap story. The movie begins with Tara, who is relaxing at home while texting her best friend, Amber. Suddenly, the landline starts ringing non-stop. Annoyed, she picks it up, only to hear a man on the other end claiming to be a friend of her mother. At first, she assumes he's just another one of her mom's boyfriends and casually chats with him. Their conversation shifts to horror movies, with the man asking about her favorite scary films. They go back and forth discussing classic horror flicks until the conversation takes a dark turn. The stranger starts making things personal, unsettling Tara enough that she hangs up. She tries to text Amber to share the weird experience, but her phone begins to malfunction. It turns out the stranger has cloned Amber's phone and starts texting Tara himself. He demands they play a game, warning that if she refuses, Amber will die. Panicked, Tara follows his instructions, answering trivia questions about the Stab movie franchise. She does well at first, but when she gets a question wrong, things quickly escalate. She grabs a knife and rushes toward Amber's place, ready to fight if necessary. However, as soon as she opens the door, she is confronted by a masked figure in a Ghostface costume. Before she can react, he slashes her stomach. She panics and tries to lock the door using her phone's smart lock system, but it malfunctions, leaving the house completely open. The landline rings again, the killer is inside. He ambushes her from behind, stabbing her repeatedly and throwing her to the ground. Miraculously, Tara survives and is rushed to the hospital. Meanwhile, Sam, Tara's estranged older sister, is hanging out with her boyfriend, Richie, when she gets a call from Wes, one of Tara's friends. He informs her that Tara is out of surgery but in rough shape. Despite not being particularly close, Sam decides to visit her sister, and Richie tags along. At school, Tara's friends discuss the attack. Wes warns everyone to be careful, but his friends don't take him seriously. They soon notice a guy lurking nearby. Liv, one of Tara's friends, explains that he's just a guy she hooked up with once, but now he's stalking her on Instagram. Her boyfriend, Chad, gets protective and offers to confront him, but Liv stops him. Soon after, the group receives a message from Tara, and they decide to visit her together. On the drive to the hospital, Sam explains Stab to Richie, detailing how it was inspired by real murders in their town, committed by Billy Loomis and his accomplice years ago. Sam explains that every few years, a copycat appears, trying to recreate the killings. Richie is skeptical and dismisses it as an urban legend. At the hospital, Tara is shocked but relieved to see her sister after 5 years. Their mother is stuck at a conference in London, leaving just the two of them. Tara confesses that she's terrified, and Sam reassures her. Meanwhile, Tara's friends gather at a bar to let off steam. Amber, one of Tara's closest friends, brings up their family's troubled past. Sam and Tara's dad walked out when Sam was 13, and Tara was just a baby. After that, Sam spiraled, getting into trouble and eventually leaving home at 18. Amber worries that if Sam disappears again, Tara will get hurt. This sparks an intense debate among the group about who might be the new Ghostface killer. As they argue, Vince, the guy stalking Liv, shows up at the bar, and Chad kicks him out. Vince doesn't go far. Later, as he heads to the back of the bar to relieve himself, his car lights flicker. Suspicious, he investigates, but no one is there. Suddenly, Ghostface appears and stabs him in the neck, killing him instantly. Meanwhile, Sam is haunted by her past. She wakes from a nightmare to find Richie watching Netflix. Trying to calm herself, she heads to the bathroom to take her medication, but when she looks in the mirror, she sees a vision of Billy Loomis. He taunts her, questioning whether the meds are even helping. Before she can process this hallucination, her phone rings. It's Ghostface, daring her to face him. When she challenges him, he suddenly appears in her house. Sam barely escapes and reports the attack to the police. The chilling part. The call came from Amber's phone. Amber insists her phone was cloned, just like Tara's. The next day, Sam tries to talk to Tara alone. She reveals a painful truth. When she was 13, she discovered their mom's old diaries and learned that Billy Loomis was actually her biological father. She confronted her mother, but their dad overheard and left that very night, abandoning them. Hearing this, Tara is furious. She feels betrayed and kicks Sam out of her hospital room. Feeling lost, Sam vents to Richie and suggests they should leave town, but Richie refuses, insisting he'll stay by her side. Desperate for help, Sam decides to turn to an expert. Sam and Richie visit Dewey Riley, a former sheriff who survived multiple Ghostface attacks. Dewey is hesitant to get involved, still traumatized from his past encounters. He warns them about the rules of surviving a Ghostface killing spree. It's always tied to the past, and the killer is likely someone they know. Despite his knowledge, Dewey refuses to help them directly. After they leave, however, Dewey makes a call. On the other end is Sidney Prescott, another Ghostface survivor. He warns her that the killings have started again and advises her to be careful. Sidney assures him she's ready and armed. When Dewey mentions calling Gale Weathers, Sidney agrees it's the right move but urges him to stay out of trouble. After hanging up, Dewey reluctantly retrieves his old sheriff's badge, ammunition, and a gun, preparing himself for battle. Meanwhile, Mindy, a horror film buff among Tara's friends, insists that the new murders are following the Stab movie's plot. She even suggests that Sam might be the killer, which angers Sam. Overwhelmed, Sam storms off, but as she glances in her car's rearview mirror, she sees another disturbing vision of Billy Loomis. Distracted, she nearly crashes. Meanwhile, Sheriff Judy is at home, making dinner plans when she hears a noise. She grabs a knife and investigates, only to find her son, Wes. She scolds him before heading out. Not long after, she receives a call from the killer, who threatens to murder Wes. Panicked, she speeds back home, sirens blaring. As she pulls into the driveway, Ghostface ambushes her, stabbing her in the chest. The killer isn't done. He enters the house and murders Wes. By the time Sam and Gale arrive at the crime scene, chaos has erupted. Gale and Dewey have an awkward reunion, with unresolved tension from their past. Sam realizes that one of the officers who was supposed to be guarding Tara is missing, leaving her sister alone. She races to the hospital, dragging Dewey with her. Meanwhile, Tara hears people arguing in the hallway. Curious, she wheels herself out and finds a security guard dead on the floor. Panicked, she rushes back to her room and grabs her phone. Moments later, someone enters, she attacks them, only to realize it's Richie. Before she can react, Ghostface sneaks up, knocking Richie unconscious. Tara tries to escape but is cornered. The killer taunts Sam over the phone, forcing her to choose between saving Tara or herself. Sam and Dewey arrive just in time to scare Ghostface away. They get Tara and Richie to safety, but as they leave, Dewey insists on finishing the job. Ignoring their pleas, he goes back to ensure the killer is dead. Unfortunately, Ghostface springs up and brutally murders him. Later, Gale learns of Dewey's death and is devastated. Sidney arrives in town, and the two women reunite. Sam, deciding she's had enough, takes Tara and tries to flee town, despite Sidney and Gale urging her to stay and fight. While the chaos settles and the medics arrive, Sam is left shaken but victorious. Sidney and Gale, battered and bruised, help her and Tara outside as emergency personnel swarm the house. The authorities secure the crime scene, and the remaining survivors are treated for their injuries. Sam, still gripping the bloodied knife she used to kill Richie, looks around in a daze, trying to process everything. She just killed her own boyfriend, the man she thought she could trust. His betrayal stings almost as much as her wounds, but a deeper part of her feels something else, relief. She proved she wasn't like her father, Billy Loomis. Or did she? That lingering question unsettles her. Gale, despite her own pain, takes a moment to breathe. She looks at the burning remains of Amber, remembering Dewey and the life they once shared. Tears well in her eyes, but she clenches her fists, refusing to let them fall. Sidney places a hand on her shoulder in silent understanding. They've both lost too much to Ghostface over the years, but tonight, it's finally over, at least for now. A reporter rushes up to Gale, eager for a statement. Instead of her usual instinct to grab the story, she tells them she's done. She won't write about this. Dewey deserved more than another horror headline. As Sam and Tara sit in the back of an ambulance, Tara weakly grips her sister's hand. "Are we safe now?" she asks, her voice trembling. Sam doesn't answer right away. She wants to say yes, to promise her little sister that the nightmare is over. But deep down, she knows Ghostface is never truly gone. Instead, she just squeezes Tara's hand tighter. "We're together," she finally says. "That's what matters." But as she looks at her reflection in the ambulance window, she sees him, Billy Loomis. His bloodied, ghostly image stares back at her, a knowing smirk on his face. He's always there, lurking in the back of her mind. Sam takes a deep breath and turns away, choosing not to acknowledge him. She may have Loomis blood, but she's not him. She never will be. Outside, the flashing lights of police cars and news cameras illuminate the night. The town will remember this massacre, just like the ones before it. And as reporters push for details and bystanders whisper theories, Sam, Tara, Sydney, and Gail remain silent. Reporters swarm in as the nightmare ends for the moment. And that's at least for now until when next another chaos resurface. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't done that, and put down your comments below to let me know what you think about Sam. Also give my video a thumbs up to motivate me. And share too for others to enjoy. See you on our next recap. Cheers.